My daughter was dead for 43 minutes, but when she opened her eyes, she carried a message from Jesus about 2025 that will change everything. What Anna revealed about the year 2025 isn't just a prophecy. It's a warning for every soul on earth.
My name is David Matthews, and I have been a paramedic in Phoenix for more than 15 years. I have seen death in its coldest and most unmerciful forms. Car wrecks, heart attacks, overdoses, and tragedies that leave families broken. For years, I thought I understood the thin line between life and death. I thought my training and experience had prepared me for anything, but I was wrong. What shattered my certainty was not another stranger's final breath, but the moment my own daughter slipped away. Her name is Anna, 14 years old, full of life and plans for high school. She was a joy of our home, the one who could make her mother smile even after the longest days. And in one instant, her heart stopped, and I was forced to face the greatest fear of any parent. I had spent my life doubting miracles. Faith was something I respected in others, but rarely embraced in myself. I believed in medicine and skill, in protocols that could save a body, but not in a power greater than my own hands. That changed the day Anna died in front of me, because she did not return empty. She came back with words, with a testimony, with something far greater than a medical explanation. She spoke of Jesus, not as a distant idea from Sunday sermons, but as someone she had met, someone who gave her a message for all of us about the year to come. She told me what he revealed about 2025, and how survival would depend not on fear, not on preparation supplies, but on faith. I cannot deny anymore what I saw. My daughter was gone for more than 40 minutes. But when she opened her eyes, she carried a truth that shook the foundations of everything I believed. I no longer stand here as a man of medicine alone, but as a father compelled to share what Jesus told her, because what she brought back was not only for us, but for the world. On July 27th, my life was torn apart in a way I never imagined. That morning had begun like any ordinary summer day. Anna was excited, talking about small things, her friend's birthday party, her hopes for high school, the songs she wanted to learn on the piano. Her laughter filled the car, and I remember feeling grateful that, even in the chaos of my work, God had given me this bright and precious girl. But in a single moment, everything changed. The sound of impact, the sudden silence, and then the sight of Anna motionless beside me. It is an image no parent should ever carry. I reached for her, calling her name, but her chest did not rise. My hands moved into the rhythm I had practiced 1,000 times before. Compressions, rescue breaths, counting in my head. My training was automatic, but my heart was breaking with every beat I tried to give her. I searched desperately for a pulse. Nothing. I leaned closer, begging God for the first time in years. Please, don't take her, not my little girl. I had seen death countless times, yet nothing prepared me for the stillness of my own child. I was both a paramedic and a father, trapped between skill and helplessness. Minutes stretched like eternity. I pressed harder, prayed louder. Strangers gathered. Sirens wailed in the distance, but all I could see was Anna's face, pale, lifeless, as if the light of our home had been extinguished. And in that unbearable moment, I felt something shift inside me. For the first time, I realized medicine alone could not save her. My hands could only go so far. Beyond that, only God could reach her. 18 minutes. That is how long Anna's heart showed no sign of life. In the ambulance, I watched the monitor stay flat, each second confirming what my mind refused to accept. At the hospital, the doctors continued for another 20 minutes. Compressions, medications, shocks, but nothing changed. At last, I saw in their eyes what I had seen too many times myself, the silent acknowledgement that it was over. They asked us to prepare to say goodbye. Sarah held my arm, trembling as if the world had collapsed under her feet. I leaned close to Anna, touched her hand, still warm but lifeless, and whispered my apologies, that I couldn't protect her, that I couldn't save her, that all her dreams seemed cut short in that sterile room. But then the impossible happened. At exactly 3:47 p.m., the monitor beeped. Once, then again. Weak, then stronger. Doctors rushed back, certain it was a malfunction, but it wasn't. Anna's chest began to rise and fall. Her pulse returned. Her brain activity surged. Within minutes, her eyelids fluttered open, and she looked around, confused but present, alive. In all my years of medicine, I had never witnessed anything like it. A child whose heart had stopped for 43 minutes was not supposed to come back. And yet, there she was, not only alive, but carrying something in her eyes, a depth, a weight, as if she had touched eternity and returned with more than breath. That day I understood what had happened was beyond medicine, beyond explanation. It was grace, a miracle, and I knew that what she would soon share with us was not simply her survival, but a message we all needed to hear. Friend, if you believe in a God who still works miracles, type amen in the comments. May his protection rest upon you and your family. When Anna opened her eyes after those 43 silent minutes, the first words from her lips were not about the accident, the pain, or even us. They were about Jesus. My daughter, who had always been polite in church but never deeply interested, now spoke with clarity and weight that silenced the entire room. She said that when her heart stopped, she felt herself carried into a presence unlike anything she could describe. "Dad," she whispered, "I met him. I saw Jesus." Her eyes filled with both awe and peace as she tried to explain. She said his presence held two realities at once: infinite compassion and absolute authority. His love was overwhelming, but so was his holiness. She knew she was before the one who ruled over life and death itself. Anna shared that Jesus did not waste words. He showed her visions, like a calendar unfolding in front of her, months glowing with different colors, some pulsing like warning lights. He told me, she said, that 2025 will be the year everything changes, not just for us, not just for America, but for the whole world. She described how Jesus spoke without sound, directly to her spirit. He revealed that the events of 2025 would not be random disasters, but tests designed to separate those who truly know him from those who only think they do. She called it the Great Sifting, a phrase that sent chills through me as she spoke it. I realized in that moment that my daughter had not just survived. She had been chosen to bring back a message. And though I struggled to understand, I knew this was not the imagination of a child. It was a divine warning meant for all of us. Anna's voice grew steady as she continued. She said Jesus showed her that the year 2025 would not be like any other. It will be the great turning point, she explained, her young face carrying the seriousness of someone far older. She spoke of natural disasters unlike anything recorded. Storms rising without warning, floods swallowing cities in hours, and food once thought safe suddenly poisoned. I asked her how people could survive such chaos. Anna looked at me with eyes that seemed to hold both sadness and certainty. Jesus said survival won't come from weather reports or government warnings. Those who live will be the ones who recognize his voice. She paused and added, if people wait until disaster comes to listen for him, it will be too late. They must learn to hear him now, in the ordinary days. She explained that even families with full storage rooms of food and water would fail if they gave in to fear and confusion. I saw them panic, she said softly. They had everything they thought they needed, but they turned on each other. Jesus said they experienced something worse than physical death, spiritual death while still breathing. But then her expression brightened. She described another kind of people, simple families with little, sometimes only enough for a few days, yet they carried peace. They knew exactly what to do and when to do it, because they had practiced listening to him before the crisis. She said, they trusted his voice more than their circumstances. Her words pierced me deeply. For years I relied on skill, plans, and resources, but my daughter was telling me that only faith could stand when everything else collapsed. Anna grew more intense as she described what Jesus showed her about the months ahead. Dad, in August 2025, the whole system will collapse, she said firmly. Not just a recession like people hear on the news. It will be complete failure. Banks will close. Credit cards and digital payments will stop working within a single week. People will realize that everything they trusted for security was just paper and numbers. I listened, stunned, as she continued. Jesus said money will no longer carry the meaning people gave it. In the panic, many will fight, steal, or lose hope. But those who lean on him will see provision in unexpected ways. It will not be about wealth. It will be about faith. Then her voice grew softer, almost trembling. But September will be even harder. Jesus called the beginning of the great deception. Signs and wonders will appear, healing, supernatural voices, even miracles. But they will not come from God. They will be imitations so convincing that even strong believers could be deceived if they do not stay close to him. Her words pierced me. As a man of logic, I wanted to question how such things could be possible. But deep in my spirit, I knew this was not a fantasy. Anna insisted that the true test would not be about food, money, or disasters. It would be about the heart, whether people could discern the shepherd's voice from a counterfeit. Anna's tone shifted from warning to hope. "Dad," she said gently, "Jesus told me that for those who truly belong to him, 2025 will not be a year of fear. It will be a year of excitement. Not because the events themselves are pleasant, but because his people will finally live by faith in ways they never imagined." She explained that survival was not about stockpiling supplies or escaping disasters, but about practicing obedience in the ordinary. He said those who already hear his voice in small choices will know what to do when the big tests come. The way you decide what to eat, the way you choose your words with others, the way you respond when a stranger needs help. Those are the trainings for what's ahead. I listened, humbled. For so long, I had measured faith by attending church or saying the right words in prayer. But Anna insisted it was deeper. Jesus said people who wait for the crisis to start listening will stumble, but those who train their hearts daily will walk through the storms with peace. Her young eyes glowed with conviction as she finished. It's not about extraordinary moments. It's about ordinary faithfulness. And when the extraordinary comes, the faithful will not be shaken. In that moment, I realized that what she described was not just preparation for a single year, but for a way of life, a life led, moment by moment, by the shepherd's voice. Anna's words grew heavier as she continued. "Dad, Jesus said something that shocked me. He told me that many churches and religious organizations will actually become part of the deception. People will gather in buildings, sing songs, even preach sermons, but their hearts will not belong to him." I felt a chill run down my spine. How can we know which places are real? I asked. Anna didn't hesitate. "By their fruit," Jesus said to look for love that is lived, not just spoken. Look for forgiveness that is practiced, not just promised. Look for sacrifice, people giving of themselves for others, not just talking about it on Sunday mornings. Wherever you see real love, consistent forgiveness, and genuine sacrifice, that you find is true people. She paused, then added with conviction far beyond her age. Jesus said he is raising up what he called the last generation of watchmen, young people, ordinary people, who will hear his voice and warn others. They may not have titles or pulpits, but they will carry his spirit. They will stand firm when others fall. Her words humbled me. For years, I thought authority came from position, from knowledge, from recognition. But Anna reminded me of a deeper truth, that true authority comes from the fruit of a life transformed by Christ. Anna leaned forward, her voice quiet but urgent. "Dad, Jesus reminded me of the story of Jonah and Nineveh. God had planned to destroy the city because of its wickedness, but when the people repented, he held back his judgment. Jesus said the same could happen now, if enough people wake up, turn back to him, and choose a different path. Some of the worst parts of 2025 can be stopped." Her words struck me. My instinct as a father and as a paramedic was to think of supplies, safe locations, and strategies. But Anna shook her head. Jesus said those who try to save their lives in their own strength will lose them. But those who give up control, those who trust him above all else, will find true life. I felt a deep conviction. All my plans, all my skills, all my resources suddenly seemed fragile compared to all Anna was describing. This was not about stockpiling food or money. It was about preparing hearts, about teaching people to walk by faith, not by fear. Anna's eyes shone with a mix of gravity and hope. "Dad, he is giving us a chance. These warnings are not meant to terrify, but to invite people back to him. Just like Nineveh, we can choose mercy instead of destruction. But the choice must be made now, before the storm comes. Friend, if you believe this is a time to return to God and trust Him above all else, type amen in the comments. May His covering and protection be over you and your family. Anna's final words carried both simplicity and power. Jesus showed me that preparation is not complicated, Dad. It begins with one question every morning. Lord, what do you want to focus on today? Not what I think, not my own plans, but His. Most people spend their whole lives asking God to bless their agenda, but never stop to ask what His agenda is. That has to change. She went on. Second, He said to find a community where people don't just talk about God, but actually obey Him. People who forgive, who love consistently, who serve without expecting recognition. That kind of community will become an anchor when the storms hit. Her eyes grew serious as she added, Third, remove the things that compete with His voice. They may not be evil things, sports, work, even family routines, but anything that takes first place over Him must be surrendered. If not, it will drown out His guidance when you need it most. Finally, Anna spoke with a weight I will never forget. Jesus said that those who are given warnings like this have a responsibility, not to force anyone, not to argue endlessly, but to share, to make sure the message is heard, because someone out there is ready. Whoever has ears to hear will hear. Her words were not a demand, but an invitation, a call to live differently, to prepare hearts rather than cupboards, to walk in faith rather than fear. As her father, I knew our lives would never be the same again.